a lot of people, certainly don't have your background and haven't done the kind of investigations that you've done. And so people are really confused about food. And we talk about healthy eating as if we're all talking about the same thing and as if we all think that healthy eating is the same thing. But it means very different things to different people. And how we eat has to be determined. There's basically 3 factors that determine how we should eat. So the first factor is our individual glucose tolerance. So that basically says how well we can tolerate carbohydrate foods. And anytime we exceed our individual glucose tolerance, we're going to put on fat around our abdominal, our visceral fat area. And then that affects our insulin production. So then we end up with this elevated insulin production. And it's not the glucose. The glucose is just a symptom. It's the insulin that does the damage. So the insulin is what causes the heart disease, causes the diabetes, causes having that high insulin all the time.
And insulin spikes as well, do they do damage?
Insulin spikes can, but it's chronically elevated insulin that is the problem. Because when insulin's really elevated, we can't burn the fat that we've stored for energy. So you talked about, an ancestral perspective and how your body type is designed to store fat for that rainy day. So there's not much food around.
Right.
You're going to be a survivor. Your genes are the genes that are going to get carried on because you've got the ability to store that energy.
Right.
But when food's not there, then you've got the ability to use that stored fat to get you through those lean times when there's not much food around. But the problem in today's society is that food is around all the time. So our insulin never comes down. And when our insulin is always high, it doesn't matter what we do, we can't burn our body fat. It's the switch that turns burning body fat off instead of turning it on. So that's why that personal carbohydrate tolerance is so important. If we can get that under control, then we can control our insulin. Then if we have got excess body fat, we can actually switch on burning that body fat for fuel. I think over the years, one of the things that I have come to realise is that we're all trying to do this in isolation. We're all trying to do this individually. And, people go home to their families and then they try and make a change for themselves. And it's really difficult. It's hard to sit down and eat this food when the whānau are eating that food. So I've really started to think that we need to do this more as a group. We need to get communities together. We need to get families together, communities together, workplaces together, and start really having this conversation. And it's not a fat-shaming conversation at all. It's
quite the opposite. It's quite empowering.
Quite the opposite. It's about really understanding our fat and really embracing absolutely how important it is for our health and looking at it from a very, very different perspective.
Definitely. We look at it as this and have done as a society. It's a bad thing when actually it can be quite powerful, and it's just the only thing that's missing is the understanding, is the knowledge to be able to use it as a powerful tool for health and well-being. Totally loving this kōrero. I do have to share you with our sister station, so I would like to say thank you so much, Susan Birch. Maybe just tell us quickly when your online interactive workshop is coming up, or where we can find more info about you.
Okay, well, thank you. The workshop is on the 30th of July and it's from 8 to 9 p.m. And you'll be able to find information about that on Facebook. So if you look up A Healthy New Zealand, My campaign is to get New Zealand healthy.
Oh, I love it.
So Justine's doing the promotional stuff, so there'll be an event that you can sign up for. And you can find me at susanbirch.co.nz. And so I have a website called Susan Birch, the Health Detective, because I go out and use blood tests and urine tests and things like that to really try and identify and individualise.
Thank you so much for coming in
today.
today.
Thank you for having me.